Let me see here real quick. All right, ready to rip. Welcome back, everybody. The Phenomenal Fan. Nope, the Between the Stitches podcast, part of the Phenomenal Fan Media Group. My name is Ryan. His name is Jared. A couple of former college baseball players coming at you with, just mediocre takes about baseball because that's what we like to do best. We've had a pretty eventful last few days between episodes. The standings have shifted around a little bit to the point where starting to look a little bit more normal. We've talked about the baseballs being inconsistent before, but what we're going to talk about is truly remarkable in a specific example about the baseballs and their inconsistent performance. We have teams throwing no-hitters and losing, and we have guys intentionally balking runners around the bases, and we'll get into all of it. But we appreciate you guys tuning in to episode number 14 of Between the Stitches, and let's get into it.
Cheer and boo and raise a hullabaloo at the ball game today. At the ball game, a wonderful ball game today.
All right, Jared.
Wow.
Baseball is firing on all cylinders. We are coming to you live on May 18th, 2022. The baseball's calendar has 15 games going on today on this beautiful Wednesday, some of which are about to end, some of which aren't even close to starting. Some of them have already been finished. A couple teams have already played a few games today. And, Jared, things are starting to happen that are really setting this season apart from every other season. A lot of different variables, moving parts, pieces of, I guess, news, if you will. I don't know, Jared. You tell me. I think this season so far in baseball has been exciting, but for as much interest that there's been with the on-the-field stuff, there seems to be as much going on, like, not with the actual game, with the baseballs being inconsistent and shitty, and the lockout, and injuries, and just a lot of stuff that's put a little bit of a damper on the game so far. And the first topic we were going to get into was the balls, but I don't know, Jerry, what's your feel on it? I feel like it's been a good year. It's been fun so far. It's only been 6 or 7 weeks, not even, probably like 5 or 6 weeks, but just kind of like, not great, not bad. Let's get a little bit more of the actual baseball entertainment aspect instead of like, oh, that ball didn't go out or that ball didn't.
Yeah, or like, no, we're like shit with like Madison Bumgarner's glove and like just like shit that's like not part of the actual game, Um,
Yeah, like umpires being shitty.
it's different. It's just a different game right now than it used to be. You juiced the balls a couple years ago, and then you're trying to make up for it, but like still implement it somehow. And it's just like fucking obvious because you can't have like super microscoped statistics with what is the tracker called?
Statcast or whatever, or like
Yeah, Statcast. You can't have like Statcast tracking shit and then
think you're gonna get away
try
with
to like try to and then try to be telling us like we're able to tell the spin rate on a ball coming off the bat, the launch angle, and how fast it's coming off, and all that shit. So it's like you can't really get away with it. Like, I think that's like we've discussed that on the show before. I think that's what they did is they just like they have 3 different baseballs and they're just like randomly mixing them in that way. Like it's like MLB The Show. It's like the random number generator, and you get when you have like a good home run or a and then your perfect
Yeah.
doesn't go out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of feels like that in a way. It's like that's what they're trying to create out of it, because they don't want it to be completely dead, but they also don't want to have obvious. They were losing the luster of the home run a couple years ago because there was just so many happening. It felt like, yeah, I don't know. It's a different game. You got umpires talking like NFL referees. You got all the shit going on off the field. Um, Interesting. So it's a weird state of the league, but still been, yeah, still like you said, it's still been entertaining. I've still enjoyed watching the game so far, and
Yeah.
still playing. It's still playing like pretty true. There's just games that they just seem like they're off, and it's not necessarily the player's fault. So
Correct.
yeah,
Correct. Before we get into the baseball itself, we always like to go through the standings. It's been a little less than a week, I think, since our last episode, and the standings haven't changed a lot. There's been a couple shifts that we sort of predicted. The Yankees are still up in the top. The Yankees are the only team in baseball right now that don't have double-digit losses. 27-9. They're two wins away from being 20 games over 500 in less than 40 games total. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Good for the Yankees. They've played good baseball. Tampa Bay, by the way, Jared, no slouch. 23-15 from Tampa Bay this year. Once again, a bunch of fucking nobodies that they aren't paying any money to, and they are shitting on everybody. I don't want to say nobody, because everybody knows who Wander Franco is, Corey Kluber, Brandon, like, we know who the guys are. But if you're to put the Rays versus the Blue Jays, I'd say, where would these teams be? Or the Red Sox. Where would they rank? Where would they all be as far as record goes? 1, 2, or 3, 38 games into the season. And I would say, well, Toronto would probably be first, and then Boston probably second. Tampa Bay probably close, and they'd probably be all over 500. But certainly not seeing Tampa Bay in second place with tied for the second best record in baseball. So actually not baseball. Second best record in the American League. But yeah, anyways. Rays are weird.
Yeah, the Rays are weird in that division. That's like that's such a it is weird. It's like it's an inverse. It's like you really would think the Red Sox would be where the Rays are, and the Rays would be where the Red Sox are. Or like, the Red Sox are actually underperforming what the Rays should perform like, just because of their history. But if you were to guess by looking at the lineups and the way that we predicted it too, yeah, who knew? Good division. Yankees, it just seems like their star players are just playing like stars, kind of. Like
they're not playing like stars, Jared. They're playing out of their fucking mind. They have like 4 dudes with double-digit home runs already. Like it's kind of ridiculous.
Just kind of like, it just reminds me of like, it's just like when you look at that team as well, it's like, yeah, they should be really good if they like.
Of course.
But like, like Judge and Stanton are playing really well.
Judge has 14 jacks. Rizzo has 10 jacks. Giancarlo has 10 jacks. They are smashing the ball. They're also, by the way, Jared, just dominating on the mound. Dominating. They have
Nestor Cortez is like really. That's a guy that I don't know. When I watched Nestor Cortez like before, I never really took him all that seriously. He's kind of got that goofy Johnny Cueto bullshit going on, where he's stopping and pausing and and it's like I didn't really expect him to be just fucking lights out, but he is throwing hitters off right now.
They have the best ERA as a team in the league, 2.76.
Is really good. And
as a team,
and as we shit on them, and as we shit on them about their hitting, like being able to hit at their yard, even more impressive and even a bigger tip of the cap to their pitching staff right now for playing half of their games in that Yankee Stadium and maintaining such a low ERA.
And
so, like, you know what? We'll give credit where credit's due.
100%. 100%. They deserve all the credit. I never have a problem with the Yankees being good. A lot of people just hate it because they're the Yankees. Fuck the Yankees. I don't have a problem. The Yankees haven't done anything to me, so I don't really give a shit. It's more so the Dodgers because the Dodgers are all literally every player in that team is a fucking worthless piece of shit, and I hate them. That's different. Okay, that's different than the Yankees. But the point is, the Yankees have been throwing it. They've been smashing the ball. That's why they're 27-9, Jared. Bottom line, that's why they're 27-9. So, Yankees in first in the East. Tampa Bay's in second place, 5 games back, but they're 23-15. Minnesota, dude, still hanging on in the Central, 21-16. White Sox not playing great. And we'll get into that here in a little bit too, but 18-18 for the White Sox. Astros, 24-13, have officially surpassed the Angels in the AL West. They're a game above the Angels. Angels still look good, but fuck, man, the Astros, 8-2 in their last 10, plus 46 run differential. That is really good. Moving on to the National League, the Mets, 6-game lead over the East. Anybody in the East. By the way, Jared, don't look. Who is second place in the National League East right now? 36, 37 games in. Who's in second place? National League East. Don't look. Don't look. Take a guess. Take a guess. You know the teams.
I don't know. What?
Don't look. Don't look. Don't look. Don't look. I want you to guess.
I'm not looking. No, I have. I'm literally just, the division doesn't have the standings.
Well, now you saw it.
No, the Phillies.
No, Phillies are in
No,
second.
the Phillies haven't been playing that well.
Well,
It's got to be. Well, then it's got to be either the Braves, Phillies, and the Mets.
so the division
Nationals have
consists
been
of
dog shit. So
it's Nationals,
Yeah, so it's got the
Phillies,
yeah.
Braves, Mets, Marlins. Which team's in second place?
well, I mean, just if it's such a surprise, it's got to be the Marlins.
It's the Marlins.
It's got to be the Marlins because the Braves and the Phillies would make sense.
The Braves have been
Because their lineups-
bad. Like
Dude,
they've
really
picked
bad.
it up a little bit this weekend or this past few games. They've been playing Milwaukee and they fucking hammered Corbin Burns today. But Philadelphia,
Yeah, they lost though.
not great.
They lost.
They lost.
They lost today. You know that? Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
Brewers won.
Oh, they did a walk-off. Keston Hira. Yeah, I saw that. Keston Hira walk-off homer. So nobody in the East is better than 2 games under 500, except for the Mets, 24-14. 24-14 for Milwaukee in the Central. They're leading that division. 24-12 for the Dodgers in the NL West. Padres 23-13. Giants 22-15. As we typically predicted, Jared, as I would like to predict, things are starting to level themselves out in the NL West. Dodgers are staying in first. Giants will probably creep up to second. Rockies will be in fourth. D-backs will start to drop down. D-backs were hot. All of a sudden, they're 4-6 in their last 10. And there goes the little magic that the D-backs had early on. Before, again, we get into the baseballs, Jared, looking through those divisions and the standings and everything else that's going on, when do we start to hit panic mode for teams like the Braves at 17-21? For teams like the Seattle Mariners at 16-21, teams like the White Sox at 18-18, teams like Boston 14-22. What number of games and what record-wise do you have to be at? Like, how many games under 500 after a certain number of games do you start to just panic? Because if I'm the Red Sox, I think it's like 60 games. I think that right now you're at 36, 37. You got another like 3 weeks, 4 weeks to pick it up. And if you don't, the season's over. The Boston Red Sox have a .389 winning percentage in 3 weeks from now. It's over. You can't climb out of that hole. So I know it depends on each team, right? The White Sox are a 500 team. Of course, you could rattle off 4 wins in a row and you're 4 games over 500. But when do you start to panic, Jared? What's your indicator? What's your deadline? What's your date? June 30th, June 15th?
I'm not really panicking. I'm not really panicking until after the All-Star. Okay, if I'm like not more than 15, 20 games below 500, even if I'm 15 games below 500 and another team in the division's 10 games above, I'm not like panicking until halfway.
So
Because
the
you could
All-Star
rattle
break.
the thing to think, yeah, it's about All-Star break. Because you gotta think you could rattle off like we saw the White Sox lose fucking 10 in a row, or did they lose 10 in a row, or was it 8 in a row?
White Sox lost, I think, 10 in a row.
Earlier this season, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's awful, but it's like turn right around and rattle off, a 10-game win streak and like see where that moves you up in your division.
Oh, 100%.
So I don't know. I think about halfway through the season, if I'm like more than 15 games below, or if I'm more than 20 games back, I'm absolutely panicking at that point. But I wouldn't like it if I'm not to like at least 75, 80 games, like it's a lot of baseball left to be played. So
I
that's
think
that's where I say.
I agree. I think it depends on how many games under you are. And it depends on
The
how many
division.
games and the division, yes. Because for Boston, it's like, okay, we can just float. Okay, here's a good example. The White Sox, 18-18. I have all the confidence in the world that team will make the playoffs. I do. Because look at the division. The Twins are a solid team. Cleveland's not good. Kansas City's not good. Detroit's not good. Every time they play those teams, which they play all of those teams a lot, they should rattle off more wins than losses, which will put them in a good spot. Minnesota might be a tough series, but at the end of the day, yeah, the White Sox should make it. So let's go through, Jared. Let me buzz you real quick, and let me ask you if these teams make the playoffs. Okay, expanded playoffs. 6 teams are making it from each league. So let me buzz you, and I'll buzz as well what I think. Do these teams make the playoffs? Rapid fire, yes or no? Toronto Blue Jays.
Yes.
Yes, they do. Tampa Bay Rays.
Yes. Wait,
I-
well, how many can get in from a specific division? Can it like
5.
you have
5, literally, if you want. No,
could be- it could
3,
be-
3,
it could be
3,
5.
3, 3, 3, 3,
3 because
3,
you
3.
could have two
2
like,
wild
two
cards. Yep, 2 wild cards and 1. Yeah.
Oh, fuck, that's such a crazy good division.
Tampa Bay Rays.
Rays make it.
I don't have the Rays making it. I don't. Because I'm optimistic about some other teams in the league itself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me buzz here. Chicago White Sox. 18-18.
Yeah, they make it.
I
They
agree.
win that division.
I agree. Angels. No. See, that's my 6th seed. That's my 6th seed. I have the Angels getting in at 6.
You know, I have a little bit of recency bias here. That after their absolute fucking collapses the last 2 days, the Angels are back to being the Angels again. They were up 4-3 last night against the Texas Rangers.
I saw.
They were up 4-3. They lost the game 10-4.
I saw, Jared. I like them. Let me see here. What about Seattle Mariners, 16-21?
No, they're not going to make it.
Correct. Mariners will not make it. In the National League, Jared, Atlanta Braves, 17-21. Did the Atlanta Braves make the postseason?
I'd like to think that team is going to make a run at some point. Yes, so I'm taking it. Yes, I said the Braves are.
Okay.
Defending World Series champs, they really didn't lose too many big pieces.
Yep.
They should be just as good.
Yes.
They didn't have Ronald. They have Ronald Acuna back. They should be better right
he's
now.
been
They have
hurt.
Kenley Jansen in the- he just got back.
He's just got back. They also they got Matt Olson, who in some statistical areas is just as good as Freddie Freeman, and
Yeah.
they added Kenley, and also they didn't even have Marcelo Zuna for 4 months last year, and he's just back. So, yeah, they should. I think the Braves make the. I think the Braves makes the playoffs as well as the 5 or 6 seed. St. Louis Cardinals, do they make the playoffs?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
They're going to be a wild card team though, because the Brewers are going to win that division.
Yes, that's accurate. That is accurate. San Francisco Giants, do they make the postseason?
We
So-
got 3 teams in already, right?
So before
So
we
got Cardinals.
you have 5 teams
Brewers,
already. You have
3.
5.
What?
Essentially, you have 5. If you're putting
That's
the
last week.
Cardinals in, hello, can you hear me? If you have the Cardinals in,
Yeah, I don't.
if you have the Cardinals in
Brewers.
already, the Brewers are in as the division champs. The Mets are in. That's 3.
The Mets are going to be in.
And you have the,
Dodgers are
Braves.
absolutely
You
in.
have the Braves too. You just said the Braves are going to make a run and make it.
Yeah.
Plus the Dodgers,
Dodgers and
that's
Braves.
5. So you have 5 teams, and you have 1 more to make it out of the National League. And that's between basically, I think, the Giants and the Padres. And you don't have to make me feel better about my feelings, seriously. But the question
Dude,
is,
I don't know.
do the
I don't
Giants
know-
make the
I don't-
playoffs? Yes or no?
I know it's no. I don't think so.
No.
I don't like, dude. They just don't have They don't have any juice really.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
agree.
know. Like they don't, dude. Like just go look at their fucking lineup.
Okay,
dude,
but
like, and
last year,
tell me that
dude,
you're like,
Last year though,
I know.
besides
it was
Buster,
it was basically the same lineup.
Besides
It was with
Buster Posey,
and Chris Bryant.
yeah, with Buster
And Chris
Posey,
Bryant.
Chris Bryant in the second half, but they were just as hot before that. I don't know. I think it's literally between the Padres and the Giants. I think it's flip a coin, except you have to take into consideration that the San Diego Padres fucking choke. They choke, Jared. They consistently choke. They consistently underperform. And I'm not just saying that as a biased Padres fan with a negative perception on the team. It's a fact. It's a fact from the onset. 2015, they traded for all the dudes in the fucking league. Kemp, Justin Upton, signed James Shields, fucking all-star Derek Norris, catcher, all these dudes, and they sucked. And they sucked the year after that, and they sucked for 5 more years. Then they call up Tatis and Machado and Hosmer. They don't even finish above 500. Then they go into 2020, which doesn't count for anything. Last year, they finished 5 games under 500, Jared. With Yu Darvish, Blake Snell, Joe Musgrove, Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado. Like, the Padres are going to choke. So the Giants will get in. The Dodgers will win the division. And I agree with you. So to finish it off, you have the Giants not getting in and the Padres do get in? Is that what you're saying? Or you could have another team. You could have like the Phillies get in too. I don't know.
I was gonna say, dude, Phillies are another team where they're so fucking stacked. It's hard for me not to fucking window shop at them a little bit and be like, well, geez, man, that team has it going on a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's just like, and it's like Harper's playing tremendous right now.
He is.
So it's like at what point?
But
does
he's
that-
hurt,
that-
but he's like
that-
kind of hurt now too. He's got the
at what point does
UCL.
At what point does that do those lineups start to
Click on all cylinders.
click, and then their pitching staff too, because their pitching staff's been wildly underperforming. Zach Wheeler has been not as advertised.
Correct. Yeah, interesting move. I was just curious about those panic buttons though, because I think it kind of answers your question though. I think Boston doesn't make it. I think you said the Angels don't make it, which is fine. I mean, it's your opinion. It's wrong, but it's your opinion. You know, I mean, it is what it.
The
Just
last two nights they've just proved to me they just don't really want it.
That's fine.
They just are in LA. You know, they're just like going to be LA's. They're always going to be the Dodgers' little sister.
That is true, but nevertheless, one thing that's not helping these teams, Jared, is the dog shit, piece of shit, motherfucking, excuse my language, baseballs that these players have to deal with this year. For the love of God, My fucking God. Back on May 14th, Jared, 4 days ago, the Miami Marlins were playing the Arizona Diamondbacks. Jorge Soler and Avisail Garcia in the first inning both hit a ball, Jared. This is unbelievable. This is literally unbelievable. Jorge Soler, with 1 out in the first, hit a ball a mile off of Madison Bumgarner to left field. 407 feet. Crushed it. Home run. Mad Bum gets an out. 2 outs. 1-0 Marlins. Avisail Garcia comes up, smokes a ball to left field, and it goes 362, hits off the yellow line, and comes back into the field to play for a double. 407 feet for Jorge Soler, 362 feet for Avisail Garcia. Exact same launch angle and exact same exit velocity. Explain it to me.
Here's my only thought.
45 feet, Jared, in difference. 45 feet.
I know, but here's my only thought is like...
Hold on. I know what you're going to say, too, and it's true. One ball was backspun, and one ball had a bit of topspin on it. Which I understand, but 45 feet worth of backspin and topspin.
I know, but here's the thing to think about too. Like 45 feet sounds like a lot, but in reality, it's 3/4 the way to the pitching mound. Imagine a batter just fucking shunting one off the hands. It could get all the way. It could go 3/4 the way to the pitcher's mound. You know what I mean? And one hop to the pitcher and he throws it to first. So it's like 45 feet sounds like a lot, but it's really not that far. You know what I mean? Like the pitcher's releasing the ball. The mound's 60 feet 6 inches. Some of these pitchers are releasing the ball 7 feet out front, you know, after their stride. And it's like, that's 53 feet. So it's not even quite getting back to the pitcher. So it's like really not that far. It just seems
No,
like
I get it, but that's the difference between a moonshot homer and a wall scraper or an out in some cases.
Yeah,
I think
that's
because somebody responded to it and said that I don't know what these fucking axis numbers mean, but Jorge Soler's batted ball, his ball was on an 11 to 12 axis. I don't know what that means. It must mean like 11 to 12 ish. Garcia's ball was on a 10 to 12,
I don't know.
and Jorge Soler's had 2,000 RPMs, and Garcia's ball had 2,800 RPMs. So clearly, Avisail Garcia's ball had more topspin. So I get it. But is that enough topspin to knock a ball down 45 feet? That's tough to tell. I will also say, I will also say this isn't it's not a one-time thing. This has happened throughout the year. People have shown on Twitter a guy will hit a ball at Petco Park and it's 107 off the bat with a 23-degree launch angle and it goes 420 feet, and the same exact ball will be hit by Gleyber Torres, 109, whatever, and it doesn't go as far. But that's the one thing I do think you have to consider, and a lot of people have to consider about these baseballs. Spin affects the baseball a lot more than people think. A lot more than people think. So I'm not sure. I just wanted to bring it up because I thought it was really interesting that they both hit the ball at 109.6 with a 24-degree launch angle. Both of them had an expected batting average of 990, and they both got hits. So I guess it's not the end of the world. Anyways, the balls are fucked. Baseball's rigged. Vegas is in on it, and it's all a bunch of bullshit. So that's at least, I mean, we can all at least agree on that. That's a fair.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got their own opinions, but Vegas is out to fuck us all. So
Yeah, makes sense.
whatever you think, just do the opposite.
On the topic of getting fucked, Jared, The
Lana
Reds.
Rhodes video. Oh. I'm just kidding.
The Reds
Well,
lost a game with that. The Reds lost a baseball game, Jared, and they didn't give up a base hit. So obviously, my first question, which is an obvious answer, but when you say, like, how does that happen? Of course, you know how. A couple walks, hit by pitch, fielder's choice. Okay, yeah, no hits. But in a more literal, in a more figurative sense, how the fuck does that happen? If you don't give up a hit and you lose the baseball game, that is 2 losses on your record. I don't care what anybody says. 100% unequivocally 2 losses on your record. You should get penalized for that. Because number one, if you get the 2 losses and you just lost the game without giving up a hit, more than likely you're a really bad team and those 2 losses aren't going to affect you anyways. Second of all, if it does, and you are a decent team that's competing for a playoff spot and you lose a game without giving up a hit, you should get 2 losses, because then at the end of the year, if you're tied with another team for the last playoff spot, but you have 1 more loss than they do, that other team gets to go through. Why? Because they didn't give up a fucking... They didn't throw a no-hitter and lose the baseball game. I know it's baseball and weird shit happens, Jared, but that is unacceptable. It can't happen.
dude, it doesn't. It actually, it's hard to even fathom how that would happen. And you know who I really feel bad for is Hunter Green.
Oh, horrible.
Poor guy. Poor guy's out there just absolutely fucking grinding. Has one of his best actually, it is his best performance of his MLB career so far. He just doesn't even get a dub out of it.
Not only does he get a dub, I think I don't think he got the loss. He was a bit erratic, had like 5 walks.
He might have got the loss, actually.
No, I don't think he did. He got pulled in the 7th. You know what? Why don't we check? Ho, ho, ho. Reds schedule. They lost to, what was it, Pittsburgh, right? They lost 1-0. 1-0.
Just absolutely heartbreaking.
Let's check the box score here. Losing pitcher, Hunter Green.
That's fucking so brutal. That's so brutal.
7 1/3 innings, Jared. 0 hits, 1 earned run, 5 walks, 9 punch outs. And that is a fucking L. Loser. You lose, Hunter. You're the losing pitcher. I know you didn't give up a hit in 7 1/3, but you are a fucking loser. Oh, what a fucking loser. God. Seriously, what a fucking loser.
You just be better next time.
Yeah, just pitch better. Yeah. Unacceptable. Can't happen. And the last topic I wanted to talk about, Jared, and I don't know if you saw this yesterday in the Dodgers game. The Dodgers were up by a couple runs in the last inning. It's happened a number of times with Kenley Jansen, who is just not one of my favorite guys. I hate him. I don't know why I hate him, because he's never done anything to me personally. I just hate the way he pitches, the fact that he gets away with throwing shit down the middle. He's a good pitcher, but whatever. Yesterday's Dodgers game, Jared, featured a runner on second base. I think it was the Diamondbacks. And the Dodgers were up by like three runs. Now, you know what? Now I have to look at it, because let's see. Craig Kimbrel Balk. Okay, so here's the situation. Dodgers are up by 2 runs. It's the top of the 9th. 2 outs. Runner on second base for the Diamondbacks. And Craig Kimbrel gets on the rubber, Jared, looks in for the sign, and lifts his hand up in the air and drops the baseball on purpose. It's an intentional balk. And you would say the casual fan that doesn't, watch baseball or wouldn't understand would be like, why the fuck would he do that? Why would he want the runner to move up? It's because he's on second base. They weren't using the pitch comms, so he's flashing signs. It makes it 15 times easier for a catcher to just put down the number 1 instead of with the runner on second, 3-1, 3-2, 3, wiggle 1, 3-2. And Kimberly in his head has to go, okay, well, there's 2 outs. There's a runner on second.
Yeah.
We're up by 2, so that would mean it's the third side. He's fucking crunching numbers in his head instead of just number 1. Give me the
Focusing on
heater.
pitching.
So he intentionally boxed the runner over to third base. Now, I know it's legal and it's part of the game. The question is, should it be legal? Should you be allowed to intentionally balk a runner over to give yourself essentially an advantage? It's hard to argue that it is an advantage because he's moving closer to scoring. But should you be allowed to intentionally balk?
Well, then, I mean, yeah. I mean, why not? It's just part of the strategy. I mean, you're allowed to potentially walk guys. You don't even have to you don't even have to throw the pitches anymore. But it's
Okay,
like,
let me say,
it just seems like,
should you be allowed to intentionally balk with a runner on second base in the 9th inning? Like, it just, if I was a bad, okay, here's a better question. Here's a better question. Should you be allowed to refuse the intentional balk if you're the offensive team?
no. It's a balk. I mean, if that's the case, then fucking get on the mound and don't drop the ball and just flinch and fucking he's gonna move and be like, oh, it was an accident.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you're just gonna make it more of a pain in the ass that way.
I think
So
I think it'd make it interesting. I just want to make it more interesting and refuse it.
You're putting a lot of faith. You're putting a lot of faith in your pitcher to be like, all right, he's not even give up a hit here because like think about how many times you've seen guys thrown out at the home plate,
But here's I agree. But
to save a game or
but here's my thing, is it's like, why would you want the runner to move up? First of all, just use pitch comms. Use pitch comms. That's what it's designed for. I know some guys don't love it. And if you're not going to use pitch comms, just go through an intricate set of signs. I would rather, as a closer, as a pitcher in that situation, be able to give up a base hit, like a missile base hit, and the guy doesn't score, and it looks better in my ERA. Whereas if, like, not just my ERA, for everything, so a run doesn't score. Whereas if you box him to third, think about this, Jared. Box him to third, next guy comes up and rips a double, or the next pitch, he rips a double. Now what are you going to do? It's a 1-run game. Runner's on second base, 2 outs. Now you're going to balk him over to third? I get it's part of the strategy. They were up by 2 runs at that point. So the only guy they cared about was the guy at home plate. I get it. But I don't know if it should be allowed, to be honest with you, because it's like, what's like a comparison? A good comparison, Jared, is the rule in football where if you have possession of the ball as an offense when time expires and there's an offensive penalty, then the game is over. And you've seen it happen a handful of times where the team with the ball is winning the football game and they have to punt and there's like 15 seconds left on the clock. And I saw it happen a couple times with once it was like the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens punter takes the snap and every single lineman blocking for the punt is literally tackling the defensive players, tackling them, holding them, grabbing their face masks, fucking throwing them down. Flags are like literally flying from every direction. There's like 15 holding calls on the play. In the meantime, the punter is just running around in the backfield, just running around. 15 seconds goes by and he just runs out of bounds, or he runs out of the back of the end zone. And the clock is at 0, and you're like, well, that can't be because there's all these flags. Technically, since they're all offensive penalties, there's no untimed down, and the game's over, and you win the game. I think it's a similar type thing where you kind of using the rules in your favor. I just think it'd be interesting if they were like, you know what, you're allowed to intentionally balk, but the offense has the option to accept or decline the intentional balk. Because then that way you're like, you know what? No, fuck you. I don't want the extra 90 feet. I want you to throw down 15 fucking signs and throw a wild pitch. And then I'll get the third. Or I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's part of it that it's smart
But
initially, but
in this, yeah, I guess in the same token, it's like, well, then fucking learn how to do pitch comps. It's like
that's what I'm saying. You learn how to do pitch comms or just do the signs. Like, is it really
you're a
that
professional.
hard?
You're a professional pitcher.
Right. I mean, and
What's the
also,
worst that I guess the worst that happens is you cross your guy up and you fucking throw it past him. and
well,
they fucking
also again, Jared, it's
give up
also
space
like
anyway.
how hard is it to you could either veer off of the finger signs or, in all honesty, do 4 signs and just decide it's the first sign every time. And you just go 1, 3, 3, 2, and then fastball. And like, it's so hard to see. It's far away. It's not. And then maybe if you want, Jared, mix in some fucking taps on your helmet, chest, arm, chest, helmet, nose. You know what I mean? Like, come on, guys. Do we really need to balk him over? I get it. Maybe that's just me, but I kind of feel like it's just like an LA thing. Like it's a Dodgers thing. You know what I mean? Like, maybe because it's only them that I've seen that does it, but it's like the Dodgers, like, we don't want to deal with it. Like, we don't want the runner on second. Whereas I feel like everybody else would just pitch with it or figure it out. The Dodgers are like, we're too good to deal with the runner on second. We just want to put one sign down. Like Kenley Jansen's just fat, fucking lazy ass. It's like, I just want one sign because I'm lazy and I'm fucking fat. And either way, it's going to be a cutter right down the middle. So, and no one's going to hit it. It's so I hate that guy. Anyways, Kimbrel, I don't hate as much. I hate that he's on the Dodgers now, but I thought that was interesting. I always think that kind of like weird, quirky shit is interesting, or like when a guy like hits the catcher's glove on catcher's interference, but he like rips a double. Like you can pick the double, you know, or you can run the play out and get thrown out at second base and then be like, no, I want the catcher's interference and go back to first. Like that kind of shit's always weird to me because it's like, wait, what? What happened? But that's baseball.
Yeah.
That's part of the game.
Yeah, I guess it's. I mean, there's shit like that, and like, you could probably find examples if you like look at every sport of just dumb shit.
Yeah. Well. Oh.
But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's just kind of like, yeah, it's like a new thing. It's just like somebody thinking outside the box, I guess. It is kind of annoying though. So anything the Dodgers do is kind of fucking annoying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, fuck the Dodgers. Like anything they do is like cheating or it's not fair. It's Mickey Mouse. So whatever. I mean, they still think that World Series ring was real, which is a joke. So
It's just simply not.
Never
Simply
has
not a
been.
real World Series.
Never has been, never will be. We got a couple guys in our chat here, Jared. Marvin said hi, and certified _ chubby says hey everyone. So wanted to say what's up to those guys while they're in the YouTube chat. It's not a regular occurrence, but you know we've had a lot more people join the YouTube community as of recently. So wanted to say what's up to everybody if they're still in here. Check out the podcast for those of you in YouTube on Spotify. For those of you listening to it now on Spotify, thank you for listening. It's been an excellent episode. Episode 14 of the Between the Stitches podcast, part of the Phenomenal Fan Media Group. We have invested recently in some intros and outros professionally made for our podcasts. So we will have those for you guys. Hopefully you enjoy those for all of our shows. Follow us on social media at Phenom Fan, everywhere you find us. Subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already and you're listening somewhere else. Lay off the high cheese. And as always, Jared, it's been an absolute pleasure. We will catch them later on at some point. Hopefully we both survive this weekend with the festivities we're going to be getting ourselves into. By the way, that's not a like, oh, we drink. Like, no, it's supposed to snow in Denver this weekend where we are. It's supposed to
snow on Saturday.
It's supposed to snow on Friday, 2 days from now, and it's supposed to be a high of like 39 degrees on Saturday. A high of 39
Are
degrees.
you shitting me? Yeah, I looked at the forecast not that long ago, and it was like I saw it was supposed to.
It's
be, like,
it's going to be
cloudy, but
May
it wasn't.
21st, Jared, and it's supposed to snow. Get the fuck out of here. Get the
39 on Saturday. Well, that means fucking it's time to cowboy up. That means you don't. That means you can wear a. It means you can wear a nice fucking flannel, and
Oh, yeah.
like not
No,
just
I'm
be
not.
just sweat just dripping down
I'm
to your
fine.
balls.
I'm not worried about it. Jared and I will be at the Luke Combs concert at Empower. Is that what it is? Empower Field? Empire Field?
Dude, it's just Mile High.
Mile High, the home of the Denver Broncos. Football stadium is where we're going to see the show. It's supposed to fucking snow in Denver, which is just
snow on Saturday too. 90%
horseshit.
chance.
Horseshit.
But no, don't worry though, because tomorrow is supposed to be 88. So,
Dude,
like,
literally
fucking
a
figure-
high of 88 on Thursday and then a high of 39 on Saturday. How is that possible?
I don't know. Of course,
Pisses me off.
on the weekend too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, whatever. Whatever. Either way, we appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, check us out, subscribe, follow, Patreon, exclusive content. We just put a rankings video up there, so go check it out. And otherwise, we appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll catch you guys on episode 15.
Let's go.